Welcome to Talking Heads on USA Global TV, starring the one and only wonderful Dr. Jacqueline. It's a prestigious place where world-class influencers and experts meet, and where you'll find the most trusted advisors and coaches for all things in life and business. Visit usaglobaltv.com to sign up for our newsletter, get the value you need, and be first in line to learn about events and giveaways and other valuable content. Connect with us. Email Dr. Jacqueline at usaglobaltv.com to talk about how you can become part of USA Global TV. That's USA Global TV, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, friends, and welcome to USA Global TV. And hello to our friends listening on Business Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, and our show today is Talking Heads. Talking Heads are a team of experts who come from around the world to share their knowledge and expertise in a 30-minute lesson. Today, joining me is Keegan Daly. Let's welcome her to the program. Hello, Jean.
Hello, Dr. Jacqueline.
It's so nice to see you, and you're presenting on a topic that is really relevant, believing in the psychology of free will. So I'm going to go ahead and spotlight you and enjoy yourself, and welcome to our audience. Take it away, Keegan Daly.
Thank you, Dr. Jacqueline. Hello, everyone. I welcome you to this platform. I'm very happy to be here and part of the Talking Heads group. I'm talking today as a second in a series of 12 presentations on Talking Heads. And last week, if you were listening, or watching, you might remember that it was about holistic health. So just a little bit of a review that the word holistic means body, mind, spirit, emotion, all communicating together, all interacting together, all the time. We are truly spiritual beings having a human experience, not the other way around. We are also not human doings, although we can think we are because there's so much to do in this world and in each of our lives. It seems as though time is speeded up. Indeed, it has speeded up. And there seems to be less and less time to do everything that we are wanting to do or needing to do or committed to doing. So how does that interact with free will? Free will is something that I do believe in. I was raised to believe in that, and I've studied it. There is a sect of people that do not believe in free will. They believe, and they're called determinants. So what they believe in is that everything is set as we enter this world, that the world is actually set, that everything is predetermined. And I do not believe that, because that would make no sense as far as energy is concerned. So we are all spiritual beings having a human experience, and spirituality is energy. It means that every single thing in the universe, every being, everything that you can even imagine, including the stars and the whole universal system, is energy vibration. The frequency of those vibrations of anything that you can name determines what exactly it is. So in other words, the computer through which I'm talking to you is a series of energy molecules, atoms, particles that are compacted together in such a way that it feels very solid to us. The table that my computer is sitting on feels very solid. Everything that you look around that you don't see moving, you may think of as solid. Well, it appears that way, but if you break it down, it is proven through quantum physics particularly that everything is energy. It's just how the frequency of the vibration of each energy system is orchestrated. So because energy is always moving, and it's moving because we know things work. So if I turn on my computer, then it's working. And if it doesn't work, that means something inherently is wrong with it, maybe inside, or maybe it needs a new battery, or maybe I need a new computer. Yet everything is in motion. It is meant to be in motion. That's how we have change. That's how we have creation. And we are all really creative beings. Now, free will comes in when we look at what is it that we want to create. If we never create anything, then everything would be static and energy would be completely stuck, not moving. And that cannot happen because the design of energy is movement and creation. I don't want to get too heavily into this, but you can find a lot of information about energy and quantum physics right on your computer. So, because I just have a small amount of time here to help you understand what I mean and what I have learned as free will, that means to me, and I'd like to share with you, that we have choice. We have choice about everything that we can manage in the life that we are born into. So, I have brown eyes. If I chose to have blue eyes, I could not make that myself. I was born with brown eyes, so my brown eyes will stay brown unless I put some kind of colored lenses in my eyes, which I choose not to do. So there's a choice right there. I happen to be Caucasian. I happen to be a certain weight and a certain height and a certain. I came from a certain family that I was raised in with certain principles and ideas and beliefs. However, those things that would be considered thoughts and feelings and beliefs are energy also, and they can be changed. That gives us choice. So if you look around and you feel, you might be a person that feels like everything is predetermined. So just let me explain to you how I believe that it's not predetermined. We have certain things that we've experienced in our past that have caused us to believe a certain way or move a certain way or um, do things in a certain way. Yet that is not static. We can change that based on new information. We're always learning. If we choose to learn, there's always opportunity to learn everywhere from everything and everyone, including nature, which is a great teacher. So, if I wanted to, let's say, stay inside all day, that's my choice. It's not the most healthy thing for me to do, so I can change that choice and go outside. Even if it's cold, I can just stand outside and put my face in the sun. It's a sunny day. Or I can walk in the rain if I want to. I can be protected with an umbrella or raincoat if I want to. So the choices that we make with the freedom that we have that was given to us as we were created in human form, that free will was given to us, that makes sense to me that we have the ability, the right, and the responsibility to make choices that we know can be beneficial to us. If we make a choice with our free will to do something that creates chaos in our life or creates a feeling that we don't like or we don't want to have, then we can. There are a lot of things that I'll be uh, demonstrating to you in the next several of the 12 um, presentations that I have, how to change that. So, as I said last week, everything begins with a thought. So, if you have a thought that says, "Oh, I've always done it this way. I've always believed this way. There is no other way." How does that serve you? It's a question to ask. Maybe it did serve you in the past. Maybe a certain choice kept you safe. Maybe a certain choice pleased your parents. Maybe a certain choice was the only thing you knew at the time. But as we grow and learn and allow the energy that we are, the spiritual energy being that we are, with intelligence and creativity to flow, then we know that that choice might have been okay in the past, yet we have the free will to make a different choice now. So I certainly did that. I actually wrote a book about some choices that I made that were very difficult for people to understand. And yet, that spirit part of me, that soul part of me, that creative part of me, and the part of me that knew why I was coming to this earth in human form in the first place, really impelled me to make those choices because they were right for me. And never, ever did I intend to offend anyone, hurt anyone, confuse anyone. It is what we all are really not bound to do, but have the opportunity to do, is to look at what we have believed or what we have done, what we grew up with, or what we have always done the same way. We have choice to change that based on what we now think, what we feel, what we've learned, what we understand about ourselves. So, free will, thank goodness, is something that I believe we all have. And with free will comes consequences. Consequences can either be productive for us or they can be destructive for us. So I'd rather use those words than positive, negative, because sometimes things that appear to be negative really can turn out to be beneficial for us if we learn from them. So perhaps, someone, I'm just going to give you an example. Suppose someone is just having a night where they feel really down, depressed, sad, and they decide they're going to eat a whole half gallon of ice cream. That's not necessarily beneficial for them. But they'll find out later that, if they call it negative, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and they start punishing themselves or they start ridiculing themselves for doing that, that's not helpful either. What is helpful is to notice that there may be a pattern there that the person has followed, um, and maybe one of you have had that experience. That when you feel badly, meaning not happy, not fulfilled, not um, productive, then you might do that. But thank goodness you have free will to be able to change that. And look at what you've just learned. And that is the most simplistic example that I can give right here. There are many, many more complex things that we have to um, know in our heart that we need to make choice about that may be very difficult to make. Yet the intention that you have in making a choice, in knowing that you have free will to make the choice, the intention is so important. So when you intend to know your own truth, you intend to follow your own truth, you intend to be, create, do whatever it is that is your truth, and you follow that, other people may not be happy about that. Or they may say, you're crazy for doing that, or they may say, that's not the way we taught you, or they may say, you might get in trouble for that. So listening to yourself and knowing yourself and knowing that there is a consequence, either beneficial or not beneficial, but when it's not beneficial, you can certainly learn from that. That, oh, this didn't work. I don't believe there's ever any real failure, because failure is an opportunity to do it differently or to do it with more input, with more information, with more knowledge, with more understanding. So that comes to the second part of my presentation today, which is responsibility. So what does that really mean, and what does it have to do with free will? Responsibility to me, when you break the word apart, it really says the ability to respond. So, what is it that you are responding to? That's the important question for yourself. Are you responding automatically to something that you really, really, when you get in touch with yourself, with your heart, with your soul, and your mind, you really don't want to do? But it's something you've always done. Let's say you are working in a job where you don't feel fulfilled, you don't really like the job, and yet you feel that you have, it's what you've always done and you should stay in it for the money, or you should stay in it to please someone, or you should stay in it for various reasons. Trivial that word. And yet, the truth is, if you are responsible for yourself, you are able to respond to that feeling and say, let me take a look at this for myself. What options do I have? There's free will again. What options do I have to make changes that may benefit me even more so, that may fulfill me, regardless of what other people might say or think of you? As long as there's the intention of being true to yourself, and the intention is to never, ever cause hurt or harm. I remember one time that, the first time I was ever really, really aware of this opportunity to make choice for something I did not want to do but felt obligated to do to please someone else. It was about going to a certain demonstration of um, plastic things that I had been to 10 times before, and I didn't want to go to this party. Even though the person who was in my family said, oh, just come and have fun. I didn't say, I could have said, well, I can't get a babysitter. Or I could have said, I don't feel well. But I decided to stand up for my truth. And I said, I really appreciate the invitation. However, I really feel as though it's best for me to decline, and kindly decline, and stay home. And that person was very upset with me. Yet it was never my intention to hurt that person. I simply was making my very, very first move in being true to myself in the face of backlash, which I did have, and thankfully that was straightened out later on. To say your truth as kindly and honestly as you can is responsibility at its best. A lot of people react. Maybe you are one person who reacts. React, if you take that word apart, it means act the same way again and again. Re means again, act. Act again and again the same way. And because you might have a thought about, I don't really want to be doing this, that causes a feeling, as I started to say last week, and I'll be saying that probably more often, more in depth. That causes a feeling, and eventually, maybe that feeling, it could start out as discontent, and then it can go into resentment, and if not changed, it can go into bitterness, and then that becomes a behavior. So you start manifesting that thought and feeling on the outside to others. And you have, what has happened is you've lost connection with your own truth. And maybe you can say, well, I don't even see any other way. There's always another way, because you have free will and you have choice. And thankfully, there is a higher power, a power that breeds us, a power that has created us, no matter what you call that power. You can call that power God, or creator, or source, or universe, or whatever you feel comfortable calling that. And In my book that I wrote entitled Reflections of a Seasoned Soul by Keegan Daly, it is the story of my struggle to be myself and the triumphs and the trials and tribulations I had in becoming who I believed I really am here to be. And when I found discontent and restriction and constriction about what I was taught and what I had to believe in to make everyone happy, and I knew there was more and more and more, I called on that power. I called on that power to help me to understand what is it, why is it that I'm here. And one of the lessons, and not lessons perhaps, but one of the presentations I'll be giving is learning how to determine your purpose in life. Yet, in order to do that, these are stepping stones to learn about we are spiritual beings having human experience. Everything within us is interconnected and communicates all the time body, mind, spirit, emotion, and impacts our social, our financial, our relationship parts of our lives. Everything. And we have free will. And we have responsibility rather than reaction. So reaction is doing the same thing over and over again, which brings the same result. If you want a different result, then you learn to become responsible, the ability, knowing that you have the ability to respond first to yourself. Is this true about me? Is this bringing me to a centeredness of peace and calm? You know, I have an acronym of the word CARE in my book that just came to me. It came to me from that source and from, the fact that I was thinking about what does that word really mean? So many times people say take care. Take care. Now at the end of a message, I'll say take care. What does that really mean? To me, it means the C in the word care is for compassion. Not just to others, but to be compassionate to yourself. And the word A is to be authentic. Authentic means being true, true to yourself, true to what you know is the best for you. That involves compassion and involves kindness and involves forgiveness. And we'll talk about all of that in more detail at another time. The word R for me means respectful, to be respectful. What does that mean? That means to really honor the truth. If someone else says something to you that you totally disagree with, you can totally disagree and still be respectful, still be kind, and still know that in that moment, that person is being as authentic as they know how to be or choose to be. And then the E for care is empowering. I have to look at my note here. Empowering. I wanted to say energy because I've been saying that word so long. The E is empowering. So when you are compassionate, when you are authentic, when you are respectful, you are empowered. That is care to me. And I feel that those are the things that often are missing in our treatment of ourselves. And we need to connect with that spiritual part of ourselves. And as I said last week, it doesn't have to be anything religious. It can be. If you choose to belong to a certain religion, that's fine. That's your choice. Yet it is there for all of us, whether we are involved in a certain religion or doctrine or not, to know that we were all created and we all have that ability to touch into that creative energy, that creative power that is within us, and utilize that to transform our lives into being powerful, empowered, respectful, caring beings. And the last part of what I want to help to present or help you to understand what I mean in my presentation is focus. So focus, sometimes that's really difficult, isn't it? In this world of constancy and immediacy and chaos in so many areas, focus. A lot of people think that multitasking is just the most wonderful thing. I can multitask, I can do this and that. Well, Dr. Jacqueline has a wonderful presentation called The Listening Mentor, of which I'm proud to be a graduate. And we know that when you are multitasking, you're not really listening with your full focus. That's not only true for other people that you need to be listening to, it's true for yourself. So focusing on what is it that I'm thinking right now? What is it that follows as a feeling? What behavior am I doing? What can I change? If you don't know the thought that started all of this, thinking, or feeling behavior, and becoming an attitude and becoming a habit repeated again and again, then you go back to, well, what can I change? Maybe I can change the behavior. For example, if you are really feeling unfocused, you have difficulty focusing, do something different. Go outside, go for a walk, put on music, dance. It doesn't have to be for very long, it can be for a few minutes. Meditation, which I will get into at another time, is very helpful, and that doesn't have to be very long. Focusing on what is happening right now, what is in the moment, and that is called presence. So being present to the moment, focusing, and knowing, trusting in that power that's inside of you, that breathes you, that animates you through life. That power is going to create space for you to take the next thing that comes along and focus on that. So focusing centers you. Free will gives you the assurance that you can make choices. And certainly caring is very, very important for yourself as well as for others. And you can disagree with others and still be compassionate and authentic and respectful. And my little example of saying very kindly and honestly that I really did not want to go to that party. I really felt that I wanted to and needed to stay home that night for myself. So I hope that helps. I hope that that is inspiring to those of you who might be questioning what's this free will all about? Do we really have it? I believe we do. And I believe that each of us has the ability to utilize free will and utilize the ability to make choices, knowing that we can always learn if the choice we make does not turn out to be satisfactory to us or beneficial to us. Life is all about learning, and life is all about growing and becoming higher and higher in consciousness so that we can feel love, we can share love, we can feel kindness, and it all starts with you and me. Thank you very much for listening, watching, and I wish you the very best of the rest of your day, the rest of your week, until I see you next time. Wednesdays at 4:30 on Talking Heads, USA Global TV, YouTube. Thank you very much. Goodbye for now.
Well done, Jean. Thank you so much. You can actually reach Jean. We have her contact information here. You can see her bio and about her lessons, the order she's teaching them in over on our website, usaglobaltv.com. You can also reach out to her on her email address, which is jlifespirit@comcast.net. All right. Thank you again for being here. We're coming right back with another Talking Head show. Jean, well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, Dr. Jacqueline. Bye.